everyone, and aloha, and well, hey everyone, and aloha from Hilo, Hawaii. We are here in Hilo, Hawaii, and again, the YouTube on the phone has a lot of issues as far as being able to properly balance the lighting, and it's just terrible. Anyway, so what we're doing here today, I'm in Hilo, Hawaii, at the Hilton Naniloa Hotel here in downtown Hilo, right on the bay side. And I thought I'd come on today and just share with you a little bit about coffee. So, specifically, hotel coffee. This is the Hawaiian Paradise Coffee that they give you in the room. And I wanted to, give it a try. So this is roasted in packages by a company called Uram Incorporated, DBA Hawaiian Paradise Coffee. They're down in Kapolei, which is on Oahu. And it's, what is going on now? Oh, I guess we're losing a little bit of signal. So, hotel coffee overall is usually generally of indistinct. What is this? Sorry, it's a little bit wonky. I thought we were on the hotel's Wi-Fi. Maybe we're not. Maybe we're not. I use AT&T as a service here, and it's not so great. Rusty, good to see you, man. Hope the train ride is going to be a smooth one, and I hope the show tomorrow for Amy is going to be a great one. Wish I could be there, but, I'm here. Anyway, so we'll talk about the hotel coffee. The hotel coffee, usually hotel coffees are not great. So I thought, well, let's try it. We're in Hawaii. Maybe there's something beautiful about this coffee. But it is a pod coffee maker. So the hotel room has one of these, a twin Cuisinart pod coffee maker. So you pull this out, there's pods here. There is a reservoir for your water. And then you can choose between 1 cup and 2 cup. We're just gonna do the 1 cup setting because, well, we are by ourselves. They also give us a little bit of cups here. So we've got a paper covered cup, sanitized for my protection. So I'm going to open this. I got to plug it in. So this, depending on what hotel you go to, sometimes they're plugged in, sometimes they're not. This one, they're not. They're actually kind of on a tray, flying high above whatever, above the microwave. So at least this hotel has a microwave and refrigerator. So that's really, really great. So I'm just going to take it here, plug it into the wall. And then this is our top. Now I did grab some water from the tap. I just poured it in the tap. And here's the interesting thing about that. Well, I'll put that in. We're going to pour this in. Oh, the nice thing is there is a 1 cup only line on here. Fill it to that. Good. So you might be thinking, oh, tap water. Why are you going to use tap water? The reason is that, you may or may not know this, but I used to live here in Honolulu, in Hawaii, and actually, there's a power switch here. There's a power switch. So I used to live in Honolulu, and we would regularly just drink water from the tap. And in Hawaii, most natural water is aquifers. And what happens is the rainwater seeps through the topsoil, through the volcanic, matter, and is filtered naturally into these big aquifers deep underground. Well, I was kind of laughing because back in the 90s, when Fiji water started to come from Fiji, they would talk about on the packaging, how beautiful the Fiji water is in the bottle, and how special it was because it went through all this natural, organic, and material and volcanic rock, and was totally purified and beautiful flavor. And I was like, in Hawaii, we call that tap water. So the tap water here is usually pretty great. So that's why I'm not going to worry I don't worry too much about that. Now we're going to take our pod holder, and I'm going to guess, there's actually 2 different size orifices here. You can see that this one is bigger than the other one. And since the switch for the 1 cup is on that same side, I'm going to make the presumption that that is the side where we're going to put our coffee for 1 cup. And as you can see, these are 2 chambers. They are separated by this channel, so there is no sharing. All right, let's, there's a little perforation right here, so let's see if we can get it. Okay, that's not working. Okay, we tear it open, and I probably have torn into the, oh no. I was worried I was going to tear into the bag. So it's not a pod per se. It's just basically a bag of coffee. It smells a little bit on the roasty side. Doesn't smell terribly exciting. All right, so this is the way, okay. So we're going to put that in here, like thus. Now, I think that because of the shape of the conical shape of this basket, I think it's best to put your coffee, maybe kind of center it in the pouch so that when you place it in the holder, it'll kind of fall into that indentation, right? Hey, K1, how are you, man? Good to see you. Oh, sorry about the lagging. The connection here in Hilo is, it's probably running through the phone and AT&T, and where I am in the city is not really great. My apologies on that. I'm gonna put that in here. We already have the water loaded in. Now let me adjust the camera so that you can see this. Give me just a moment to make these adjustments. There we go, better. So I'm going to take, I'm going to close the cap, hit the power button, there we go, it's on, and then I'm going to just turn it this way, make sure it's sitting nice and soft, and I guess we just wait. So I'm hearing a little bit, oh, it's already starting to brew. I can hear the water brewing. Here it is. Let's have a look. This is the Hawaiian Paradise Coffee. Now, Keen, when you say there's a bit of a lag, is it that my words are not in sync with the lips? To me, it seems like there's a surprising amount of coffee coming out of here. But I think we're almost done with the water. Oh no, there's still more. Huh? Okay. My feeling is that this is a little bit too much water to coffee. The ratio is really light. We're starting to get a little bit of stumbling. Looks like we're coming to the end of our brew cycle. Let's have a look at the puck. Whoa. Okay, that's finished. Take it easy, take it easy. I'm going to turn off the heating element. More importantly, I'm going to unplug it from the wall. That'll prevent any kind of continued heating. So let's have a look at the coffee. It is hot. Well, it's really hot. They do provide, they do provide sleeves. Oh, look at that Grand Naniloa Hotel. I'm gonna have to take these home with me. So that's a nice touch. And then they also come with a lid, like I showed you earlier. There's a lid, so if you want to drink with a lid, you can. And put this all there. All right, let's have a smell. All right, already the aroma, in my opinion, is typical for kind of commercial coffee. Defecting, I can smell like the CBB defect, the coffee beer, with this earthy dirtiness to it. So that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting not some great coffee. It is still quite hot. I mean, it's not the worst I've ever had. It's not the worst. It's typical coffee. It does have the taste of some CBB defects, some earthiness to it, some kind of very unpleasant dampening. Picture's much better, not the worst. Okay. Okay. So, not the worst coffee, not the worst picture. So the Hawaiian Paradise Coffee from Hawaiian Paradise Coffee here at the Hilo, Naniloa. I mean, this is probably the very best hotel on this side of the island. Sounds like pond water. Yeah, it's not. I mean, they do give you a packet of. Here's the little tray that it all comes on. So they give a pack. They do have a pack of, sugar and stuff like that. That certainly would help tone down the more unpleasant notes. However, it's probably just it's. I guess in situations like this, if you're staying at a hotel and you must have some form of coffee, then it's probably the way to go. Me personally, like this morning when I had breakfast here, like I had a bunch of leftovers from the places we've been eating the last day or two, and I swung by that grocery store last night and grabbed myself a Diet Coke, because between this and this, I'd rather have this. Especially here, and the nice thing about Hilo is that, or just the nice thing about when you're traveling in general, it's nicer to go out and just find a coffee shop, even if the coffee's not even that much better than this. Like, there's a couple places that I can think of here in Hilo that just have coffee like this, and but the greater advantage of that is that even though the coffee may not be spectacular, you get to go out and meet people and see the city rather than just sitting in your hotel room, which I prefer much more, to go out and explore. And yeah, it's true. It is a little bit better than they are trying. So, and then Rusty said, if I knew they were staying in hotels and back to showers, yeah. I mean, honestly, I do have a bag of coffee from Paradise Roasters. This is the this is the Kona SL34 Champagne Natural from a very good friend of mine, Miguel Meza, who owns Paradise Roasters. They actually have a roastery here in Hilo. I was there yesterday. I could try to make that, but what fun is it in that when this is available to us? So, yeah. But I do think that, if you're, to your point, King One, Kong Two, it's like, I get it. Like, this is the kind of coffee you'd expect at pretty much most hotels. But here, this is the Grand Naniloa. This is supposed to be the best hotel on this side of the island. This is the Hilton DoubleTree. I guess the DoubleTree is not the highest end of Hilton's, but it is the higher end here. I would like to see them, go with something a little bit better. There's so many other, especially in Hawaii, there's so many wonderful coffee producers and even some coffee roasters here that can get you great coffee. Why not offer that as part of your experience? It's not going to cost you substantially more as an operator. Instead of this fumigated coffee, because here's the reality about Hawaii. Because Hawaii is a very unique space in the middle of the ocean and has a very unique agricultural system here, the Department of Agriculture of Hawaii does require any coffee that's imported to the state of Hawaii, meaning that it comes from anywhere else in the world, whether it's shipped from California. Well, actually, it has to be shipped from California because that's a whole nother story. Anyway, so all coffee that enters the state of Hawaii in green form must be fumigated to prevent pests from invading the islands. And right now they're battling the coffee rust as well as the coffee berry borer here. So all of the stuff that plagues other places in the world in the coffee business are also plaguing Hawaii. So I get it, but there's so much coffee here that why not get those coffees? And I get it. Like if you're buying locally produced coffee that is of commercial grade, like just what they call Kona Prime, lots of defects and things like that, compared to coffee from the rest of the world, it's very expensive. I think I was told that it was $16 a pound or $8 a pound for the worst. It was eight, maybe it was 16. I can't remember. I have to go look at our videos. We did shoot a lot of videos here, so we've got a lot of stuff coming on the channel that will give a little more insight into this. But a lot of the lower grades of coffee here in Hawaii are still comparatively quite expensive. Anyway, that's brewing with the Cuisinart pod brewer and the Hawaiian Paradise Coffee. I hope that helps. I don't know if you have any questions about coffee down below, let me know. Oh, also speaking of which, since I am at the DoubleTree, they did give me a cookie. Actually, I got these upon check-in. I haven't even eaten them yet, but I thought I'd show them to you. This is the real deal DoubleTree. I should be eating them, but I haven't. It's really bad. But anyway, so like I said, I've been here on the Big Island. I'm leaving today to go back to Honolulu for another few more days, where we'll be shooting more stuff around Honolulu. But here in the Big Island, it's been great. I was able to visit Pahala and go see Lori Obra along with Joan and Ralph, and then we also went to a luau with them. And then I also got a farm tour of a place called Silver Cloud up in the Pahala area, also in Kau. Went to visit the Miranda Coffee Farms as well. Visited Na'alehu, but a couple coffee shops around there. So we had shops there. We also had a couple coffee shops in the Kona district that we're going to be featuring in the videos. A little bit of videos from the Kona Coffee Cultural Festival. We did a farm visit at Greenwell Farms, which is the biggest Kona operator in Hawaii, or in the Big Island, and they do a really nice tour that's free for tourists, and we just kind of followed along to make a short video to show you what that's like. It's actually really an enjoyable tour, and really geared towards people that are just tourists that are coming out. They want to learn about coffee. They don't know much about the production of coffee. It's a great way to see it, and so we'll probably feature some of that as well. And then we did some visits here. Went to a place called Ko'ana, which is up in Mountain View, which is really, really pretty. And yes, we've got. Actually, I've been to Tommy's place before. Like, Greenwell's been around for such a long time. So where I didn't get to go down to was down by just below Kealakekua and Captain Cook is a place called Pu'uhonua Ohanauanau, which is a place of refuge But on the way down there used to be, at least before, there used to be a coffee museum and mill that was there. I don't know if that's still there or not because I didn't get to go there this time. Actually, I found out that turns out been here for a week, and there just wasn't enough time to do everything you want to do. Next time I'm gonna have to come here for longer. Plus, as much as I like Honolulu, it's like so much nicer here. So laid back, it's easy going. Do I know Brittany from PCR? I just met Brittany. Actually, she was the host for the event that I went to on Monday night in Kona, which was a whole thing about how to brew coffee. So they brought a bunch of baristas from around the island, and they gave demonstrations on how to brew with a French press, pour over, and the clever. So they used, they had 6 baristas that were all giving their own spiels about how they do it. So I met Brittany there, and that was really nice to meet her. That's also where I met Brian Lowe, who's the owner of Ko'ana. And actually, the interesting thing is, I wasn't even sure. I mean, I went to his shop yesterday, and his shop was completely not even on the map for me. Basically, when I was at that event on Monday, he was giving a demonstration on making coffee with the clever, and I was, listening to his stuff, and I was watching him, and I was like, this guy is so focused on coffee, and he seems to have a very strong vision of what he's trying to do in coffee. And then I found out that he was a cafe owner, and I was like, I gotta find out where this guy's cafe is. And it turns out it's over here on the Hilo side, about 15 to 20 minutes outside of the Hilo, headed towards Volcano in a town called Mountain View, which is this tiny, tiny village. There's 2 stores, his and this bakery. There's really nothing else. There's nothing there. It's just a little bit, further than Curtistown out of Hilo. And I went there, and you know what? I gotta say, it's one of the more magical places I've been to. One of the things that I look for when I'm doing videos about coffee shops, specific coffee shops, is something unique, something that has something unique to them. So the operator has strong vision for what they're doing. They're really focused, and I've always said that I think the best operator in the United States is a guy named John Piquet from Salt Lake City. He owns a place called Cafe de Bola there. I also think Anthony Rue of Volta Coffee and Tea in Gainesville, Florida, on those levels. And these are guys that are operating shops in 2nd or 3rd class cities, right? So they're not in all the big metropolitan areas like New York, Chicago, LA. There's a lot of good coffee there, but really to me the most focused and specialized operators are in these weird places, And so I gotta say, after visiting Brian's place yesterday, that I would put him on the list of top operators in the United States, because it's really worthwhile to visit. And if you really want to delve into coffee and try wonderful coffees in a great environment, when I arrived there's probably 8 people in line, and as a coffee operator myself, it's always you want to process the line as fast as possible. But there's Brian all by himself working this bar, slow brewing. He's taking his time to talk to everybody. When they come to the counter, he's talking to them, explaining, sharing his stories. Now, if you're the person that's on the run and you want to be fast, this is probably not the place for you to go in the morning. But he goes there and he just makes you feel at home. He makes you feel comfortable, welcoming, just a total encompassing vision for what he's doing for coffee in this little tiny enclave. So when that video comes out, I'm basically giving a preview of what I'm going to say when that video comes out, is that it's well worth the trip. It is worth the trip to go, right? It's not one of those things where, if you're driving on the way to the volcano and you're passing through Mountain View, it's worth stopping by. No, it's actually worth taking a special trip. If you're in Hilo and you're I want to get good coffee, it's worth traveling there. And of course, our good friend Miguel Meza, who has a place here, like I said, Paradise Roasters. I stopped by his place. He's got a really interesting setup. It's really, really tiny. You walk in, it's just this little walk-in enclave, a little like a little alcove, right? And his people are there. Mizuno was there, and she was like very knowledgeable and accommodating, and she had I got to taste 3 coffees when I went in, and she was like, here, try this. These are all experimental lots. Like, this is really like, when it comes to coffee and coffee processing, Miguel's got very forward-thinking like ideas and really cutting-edge kind of stuff. So I had some really interesting coffees while I was there, and yeah, so it's well worth the time. So that's pretty much, in a nutshell, my trip here, and I'm babbling too long because now we're running 25 minutes. So I'm having the Hawaiian Paradise Coffee. It's typical room coffee, defective, a bit dirty, soft, not terribly complicated, not terribly interesting, just enough to give you some caffeine, and it's easily softened by cream and sugar. So here we are at the Grand Naniloa Hotel here in Hilo, Hawaii. I'm going to be signing off. Thank you for tuning in for just a few minutes. If you're watching us on the replay, feel free to drop any comments about anything I've talked about, or if you have any questions about coffee, drop those in the comments as well. I'll be happy to answer them. And look forward to seeing you guys next time. From here, I'll be back in Honolulu, and yeah, there it is. Back home next week. See you later.